This podcast has been brought to you by SeekersGuidance, the global Islamic seminary. Help us spread the light of prophetic guidance to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Make a small donation at SeekersGuidance.org/donate. For as little as $10 a month, you can help people find life-changing guidance.
Am I rewarded for not taking a second wife? Okay, the question is, Assalamu alaikum. Am I rewarded for not taking a second wife so as to not hurt the first wife's feelings? Wa alaikum assalam. Well, if you told your first wife and you live to see the next day, that's a reward in and of itself. Okay, in general, right? So, you don't. So a person wanting to take marry again, but he doesn't do it in order to not hurt his first wife. Is there reward in this? Undoubtedly, right? وَفِي كُلِّ كَبِدٍ رَطْبٍ صَدَقَةٍ, right? And every living thing, there's some form of charity that you can gain through good treatment of it, right? And your wife is someone who is one of the people, including your parents and your siblings and your children. These people are those who deserve the best treatment from you, right? There's no point saving your good character when you go to the shop. You go shopping and I'm buying some new trainers and be all nice and polite to the people helping you there, and then being the opposite to your family. So, yes, your wife is one of the people that deserves the best treatment. So, yes, and if you do it with this intention, there's a good deed in that, right? And to save someone some pain. There are issues with the with second marriages. Sometimes the fuqaha, like, this is about nuance, and it's one of the things that when you study fiqh at a deeper level, you see that there's nuance in the rulings of the Sharia. It's not just black and white. That's why many times if you go to a scholar, a mufti, if you ask them, sometimes different scholars give different answers, right, based on nuances. And sometimes they might, a person might ask the scholar or mufti something, and they might not have an answer, not because they don't know, it's because they know enough to say, well, that it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be this, and it requires further study, further reflection, consultation. So it's like that. So even with fiqh, the basic rulings of marriage the first time, the standard rulings apply. Sometimes it can be haram. If you're going to wrong her, you will be haram. Sometimes it's obligatory that, if you're not going to wrong her, and if you don't marry, you'd end up committing zina, or, someone's in a state, where they're committing zina, it's obligatory to marry, right? But then there are nuances behind this as well, right? And sometimes when there's a state of balance where a person won't end up committing zina, but they can get married, they've got the financial means, and so in this situation, it's highly recommended. It's an emphasized sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if that applies to when there's a case of the first wife, if someone already has a wife and they want to marry a second time, then the same rulings have to be discussed again. And so if someone's wronging the first wife, or there are problems with the first wife, and we are just going to get transferred to the second, or this marriage is going to cause her too much pain and suffering, then the rulings apply. It could be sinful, it could be makruh to marry someone else. Or in some situations, it's mubah, the first wife might not mind. And, people, this is something that is heavily influenced by culture. I had a friend from Nigeria, and, there it's normal, even for the poorest students have, 2-3 wives. And so he was married to someone, and she was looking for wife number 2 for him, right? She thought, I might as well find and get a friend, So, it's understandable in that culture. It's normal in other cultures, like in many places in the Muslim world as well. And here in the West, it's not something that goes down well, because especially in the West, people grow up with this idea of, I have my soulmate and all of this. So when the concept of a second marriage is brought up, it causes pain, it causes difficulty, and sometimes ladies they feel they can't stay in a marriage and being a second wife, So, it's not just a simple, Islam when I was here, so that's why I'm gonna, I have a choice. Well, there's nuance. It's not as simple as that. So, yeah, if someone has the desire and they refrain from it in order to not upset and not hurt the first wife, and if that's the case, just don't even talk about it. Don't even tell her. Right? It's not a wise move to be talking about second wives and third wives. Just don't tell her, and you'll have your intention and you'll have your reward for that. Right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by Seekers Guidance, the Global Islamic Seminary. Visit SeekersGuidance.org to access reliable Islamic knowledge taught by qualified teachers. We offer a wide range of courses, podcasts, articles, and a world-class answer service. Support us in spreading free, reliable Islamic knowledge to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Visit SeekersGuidance.org/donate and make a small monthly commitment today. Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever guides someone to goodness will have a similar reward." So don't forget to share this podcast and spread prophetic guidance.